St. Joseph's Villa Black History Podcast. I'm Bella, and let's re-welcome my guests. This is Kelly. This is Scarlett, Quidon,
hey,
and Tyler. So last week, they talked about significant experiences that they've had here at St. Joseph's Villa. Now, we're going to go ahead and go into what actually led you guys to coming to the villa.
that's good.
I mean, I wish I had him at the end of my story, but it's really just I went on Indeed looking for a job full time, and I applied.
I love it.
It's straight.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, so I was brought here through an individual that my old high school track coach. I called him Mug. He was known by everyone as Craig Headley. The gym is now named after him. An amazing parental force in my life, and so similarly, I needed a job. I had this whole grand plan of traveling the world, and then that didn't happen, so I needed a job. And then he was like, "Oh, you should just apply to Sarah Dooley. They got a great thing going." I met people like Quidon and a lot of the other staff there, and that's what led me. And the great staff and everything, that's what kept me. And then I moved around a little bit. I left, so I came back again.
Yeah. We love a return.
And another great, paternal force, Matt Cordatis, he kind of brought me back into a role that really suited me. And so, long-winded, that's why
I literally believe Matt manifested you to come back.
I
He literally
do.
almost
Yeah.
every time I will talk with him will say, I just need Tyler Berkeley back. I need Tyler Berkeley back.
Right.
And then you came back. So manifestation is real.
I love it.
So for me, my experience was a little different because I had just relocated from upstate New York and was still trying to figure out life at that time. I was early on in my 20s and was just trying to make some decisions. And my mother actually told me to apply to St. Joseph Villa at that time. And I was like, okay. And when I originally was hired, I worked for the Lewis Children's Center, which is LCC. The Villa used to have a daycare here on campus, and I worked there part-time. So I came in part-time and was just kind of still trying to figure out my way. And shortly after, I remember maybe 2 months into the role, we were all laid off. We were laid off. 2 months in. And I was new coming into this, but I would never forget there were so many people. We had a meeting, and there were so many of the staff that were crying and just kind of what do we do now? These are the people that had worked for the agency for years. And I remember just saying, this is not it. A lot of you have degrees, reapply, go for different positions that they have here internally. This is not the end.
Right.
And shortly after that, I was called and recommended to apply to Sarah Dooley Center for Autism. And I was like, sure. I mean, I'm looking, and that was kind of my experience. And once I came to Sarah Dooley, I was like, this is where I want to be. This is it. And my career kind of took off from there.
That's awesome.
Awesome. For me, I actually lived in the vicinity. So I lived in Magnolia Ridge, which is 6 minutes door to door.
Nice.
And so I'm in the vicinity and I'm driving around. I'm at Walmart and I kept trying to figure out, what do they do in this building? At that time, we had
everybody that
trees.
drives back here wants to know.
We had these tall trees and it just looked like it was a locked-in fortress of something. And I just wondered, what do they do? So I saw the name and I did some research and I was in awe of the services that were provided, that the mission that they were saying that they were about. And I'm thinking, okay, that kind of aligns what I'm about.
Yeah.
And so after doing some research, finding out what it is that they were doing, I went on and applied for a position. And not only did I apply for the position, I applied for the position, came in, and was promoted the same day to the position I really wanted, because that person was giving her notice or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, welcome to the villa. And by the way, congratulations on your promotion. I said, this
We love
is
to
the
come up.
place to
We
be.
love to come up.
This
Yeah,
is the
that's
place
it.
to be. So yes, it was a
That is
win-win.
awesome.
I was extremely excited to be here.
Mhm.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay. One more question. So, is there a particular African American that you admire or like that has given you your drive to do what you do every day?
You look at me, but I spoke first last time, so.
Okay. So, I'm gonna pick 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Kelly.
Let's go.
All right. So this one I actually wrote out because it is so near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to make sure that I did not miss any of the intricate pieces that I wanted to share with you.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind to take a moment with me, I'd like to just kind of give you a little bit of background. Actually, I am intrinsically inspired by 2 women. The first is my mother.
Mhm.
My mother is a published poet. She just published her portraits in poetry and prosaic at the age of 91 years old.
Wow.
My mother will be 93 in
That's
September.
amazing.
She is amazing, and she, even now, is very sharp and feisty as can be. So that's mommy. My second inspiration is Maya Angelou.
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell you a little bit of background regarding Maya. People know all about the books that she's written, the poetry that she's written. You know about that. Several intriguing books of poetry. However, there is one piece that she has shared that has single-handedly resonated with me in a way that it put me in a position to know where my purpose was. And I thought that it was worth sharing with you. I, to this day, still use this quote that she has said for speaking points. And what she said is that you can only become truly accomplished at something you love.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's real.
Don't let money be your goal. Instead, pursue the things you love doing, then do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. That is so profound to me, and that helped me to help others really go into the direction of where you want to be. What is your niche, and how you're going to get there? And what is the actual goal that you need to accomplish
Yeah.
so that you can bring it into fruition?
Yeah.
And so for that, those 2 people, my mother and Maya Angelou, were the ones that I wanted to talk about, but I needed to put it down because I did not want to miss any of the information.
Right.
Oh, that's good. That's really
I would
good.
say, for the record, she did not look at the paper for the quote.
See,
I
know
was
so.
looking too.
I know.
It
It was the rest of the
Yeah,
stuff.
Proud of
that
you.
was yeah, no, serious, yes.
Proud of you.
Like you, my mother, top hands down, is my main inspiration, motivation. I feel like I am truly blessed to have her as a mother. I can go way and I can get deep
Yeah.
on some things that I have witnessed her surpass her way through. And always just raising the bar high for my siblings and I. She was a single mother of 4 daughters. Yes.
Yeah.
And always has kept her head held high. I don't think I've ever heard my mother complain about anything. And that spirit, of course, trickles down to my siblings and I.
Right.
So she is my superhero. She's my everything. I love a niece.
Okay.
Love her.
Yes. Can I say one thing before you go?
Yeah.
Something about your mother.
Yes.
So your mom showed up, and this is something that my mother has done in the past when I was teaching. When you couldn't make it because I don't know if the baby was sick, somebody was sick,
Mm-hmm.
and your mother showed up, and I'm looking. Is that Quidon's mom? And she was taking orders and doing
Yeah.
everything she needs to do
Mhm.
because Quidon couldn't be there.
Yeah.
And mommy showed up
That's my
like
mom.
a villa employee.
That's
I was in awe. So yeah, kudos to your mom.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm from North Carolina originally, but this person I'm thinking about is actually a local Virginia hero. So Bill Jingles Robinson is kind of like a staple for a lot of the things that he's done. actually even worked at the James Robinson Theater before I started here.
Oh, cool.
And just the whole mission and vision of just like, there aren't a lot of opportunities for people like him. So I'm going to use what I have to kind of create these opportunities for others and even create spaces to kind of like educate and teach them so they can like use those gifts to kind of like advance. I feel like that's a good role model and just model for like how I live my life. I've been mentoring people since I was 17 years old. The whole goal is just to be like, hey, what do you currently have that's a skill set? How can I encourage you to kind of like grow that gift and then just use it for your own benefit? So just modeling just a lot of the teachings and kind of inspirations that he's kind of pursued, I feel like matching in line with my own visions for myself. So he's always been a big inspiration for me.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. I want to first shout out some Villa folk.
Yeah,
Um,
go right ahead.
Shout out Charles Dockery.
Hey.
Everyone knows him here.
That's the OG.
Yes.
Great guy. Jamie Knight.
Yes.
Great guy.
Yes.
One of my supervisors in the past. Really great leader. Daryl Easter.
Yes.
Shout him out.
Yes.
He's great. He loves the kids, and you can see that every day. I know I'm forgetting people, but yeah, I just want to kind of shout out some Villa folk that are doing it every day and
Yeah.
creating examples for the younger generation.
Yeah.
And then I guess on a more like personalized note, to stick with the garden thing, I want to shout out the great George Washington Carver.
Okay.
Yeah.
An amazing scientist, agriculturalist. I've been doing a lot more like podcast listening while I'm working and listening about his life. He was first and foremost, he was just like interested in learning and passing that on to others. And that's something that I like to attribute to myself as well and take from him. And not only like just learning, but like having the disposition and ability to have the younger generations like want to learn as well. And so that's another big reason why I came back to the Villa in this specific role, especially within the youth, the African American youth here, to realize that like the natural environment, agriculture, it's all connected. What you put in your stomach, it's all important. And I think he was just a perfect example of like loving what you love, putting everything into that, and then providing for others in that. So
I love it.
he's a great guy. Hopefully we can get a mural up of him.
Yeah.
I'm manifesting that.
Let's
Yeah, right in the garden.
And I will say, Tyler with that garden is amazing because
Yeah.
it's been so many times I'm just passing by. He's like, "Hey, try this," and I'm like, "What is this?" Or try that.
Like giving us random
Yes,
food and
amazing.
stuff. Vegetables I ain't never heard of.
We love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. Well, the conversation is so good. So you have to make sure that you're back here next week. Click the link and we'll see you then.
Come on back.